Divas, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. We have a topic that's going to be a three-part series.
Yep.
We were talking about this earlier, and it is something that comes up regularly, not only on the channel, but any time that Donna is usually speaking to a group or just to an individual woman. This topic comes up repeatedly, and the topic is...
Boundaries. Boundaries. Take notes, ladies, take notes. Boundaries, there's a plethora of kind of red flags you want to be aware of, but a boundary doesn't always, it doesn't mean that it has to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's the important
Yeah.
deal here. Boundaries can range from safety to just emotional awareness to how far you're willing to go, how far they want to go. And we have a very fun little example Jeff was sharing with me this morning. And I said, ooh, let's talk about that. What was a boundary that I set and didn't even know it on our first date?
Our very first date. We had we met at a steakhouse, had a wonderful dinner, and the agreement was if she felt safe, she would get in my vehicle. We would go basically to a cigar lounge and enjoy a cigar. We both smoked cigars at the time, and then I would drive her home.
Yeah.
And she felt safe. So as we're walking out to the car, Divas, I went like that. I interlocked our fingers, to which this woman says, whoa, 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 way too early to be interlocking fingers. And
No,
I was like,
I know. Now, what's really funny is I don't even know if I actually said that, but I made it clear that I was not comfortable with finger interlocking. So I slid my hand away from his, and then I put my arm through his arm. That felt much more comfortable to me. I didn't even realize it was setting a boundary.
oh, I did.
You did, and you even said, as we got to know each other a little better the first time that we did lock fingers, that was an indicator.
Oh, that was a big time indicator. I just felt like crying. I was so happy because I understood that, okay, she had made it clear, no. But now we were on a different level, and we were getting closer and closer, and so...
And boundaries are so interesting because it can range from anything like we just shared, or let's say you go over somebody's house on a couple, maybe the third date, and you're not willing to go into the bedroom. You are setting a boundary.
Yes.
That is a very important message. And it's interesting. I used it actually one time with a guy who I didn't quite understand it at the time, but I went into his home. He was showing me around, and I opened up his closet door. Now, I did not have permission to do that, but it was kind of my way to create a separation because I was not feeling comfortable with this man. I was not feeling safe. And again, I didn't consciously do it. I didn't say I'm going to go open up the closet and let him know. But he said, hey, what are you doing that for? You know, you've overstepped your boundaries. And I was very happy that I did that because I wanted to get, I didn't see him again, right? So, but you want to be very careful, stay safe.
Yeah.
But it works both ways. Where are the boundaries? If somebody, one time I had a date want me to go with him to meet his ex-wife and his kids, no. And not to meet them, he had to have a meeting with them. I didn't need to be there. Okay. So it's really important that you set forth understanding of how far you will go in any situation and then how far you won't go.
Well, one of the things that you divas need to understand, you are the one that sets your boundaries. And they're different from everybody. They're different for everybody. For Donna, on the first date, interlocking fingers, that was a boundary that I was not allowed to cross.
And wait, and what about when you used to say to women before me, don't fall in love, I'm not going to get married. I'm raising my children. And so he set a boundary up front.
Yes. Well, the thing I was going to bring up, I encourage you, before you really start dating, or if you are dating, to stop and ask yourself, what are my boundaries?
Oh,
and
yes.
And they're not just there's not just one type, but and don't do it. I say this all the time about so many different things. Don't do it for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, really think about this over a course of 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 days a week, couple of weeks, a month.
Right. Now you want to follow the system, right?
Well, of course, but I was going to say write them down. You might write something down, and later you go back and you'd be like, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But if something pops into your mind, write it down. Make a list. That way you can go back and visit it. You can fine tune it. And at that point, you know your boundaries.
Right.
And because if you don't do that, I promise you what ends up happening, there's something that's borderline, and then you let it slide.
Yeah.
And then Donna has talked about this forever. Now you've set a precedent.
Yeah. And I have an example of that, actually. Before Jeff, and before I married and met and married my lay husband, I was on a mission to find a husband. That was my intention. I wanted to meet somebody. I wanted to fall in love, and I wanted to get married. And I was in my late 40s at the time. And so here's an example. And you can read about all my dating escapades in my book. The link's below if you want to grab it. I literally gave myself away too fast, too soon, physically. And I thought I was showing how caring I was. And then I came to find out that was not the case. So I then set my own precedent, my own rule, that I was not going to sleep with anybody until and if maybe after the 4th date. Okay, 4th date or longer. And what an amazing situation. I started to understand my value, and you would be surprised and amazed at how quickly these men rotated in and out within the first 2 dates.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and I gained my self-respect, my value, and I kept doing that no matter how I felt. So go ahead.
The fact is they understood. What I was going to say, the fact is they were just wanting a one night or maybe a 2-night stand.
Yeah.
And when they weren't going to get it, they moved on, which
Perfect.
is exactly what she wanted because she was looking for love and marriage.
Right.
And so that was a way of weeding out the guys that really weren't serious about love and marriage.
Right. So listen, divas. We're going to do part 2 in a minute. We're going to jump back on here. Come and watch it because we have more to tell you. At the end of the day, remember,
It doesn't have to be that hard.